How are you?
I'm doing well, doing well. Good to be with you. How are you?
Yeah, same. I've been looking forward to this. So,
Me too.
first of all, just like I had, I think, messaged you on Facebook. I love your work.
Oh, thank you.
Acting. I know you're doing writing, you're directing, you're doing a lot of producing. So you're a juggler, right?
Yeah, a little bit of everything.
Yeah. So, this is the first time I kind of feel naked that I don't have cards in front of me. Like I always do hard old schools for some reason, so that if something happened to my phone, uh, I would have everything in front of me. So, but I'm glad we could share, so we're on the same page. I thought that we would start with filter. I just
Uh-huh.
wanted to dive right into one of your most recent works and talk to you about that. Oh, there goes that light. Well, whatever. No one's looking at me. So
I'm looking at you.
yeah, just you. So filter shot in Minnesota, um, right?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
Mhm.
And that's where you live, correct?
I do. I live in Minnesota.
Okay. And so I can, as a Chicagoan, suburban Chicagoan, not a city,
Mhm.
I mean, I can tell the difference between your films and others. I mean, I'm not saying they're all rural, but there's definitely a good portion of outdoors to them, even if there's a home. And I don't know which movies that I can talk about that I give things away or don't give things away, but you're always in the yard or at a tennis court or outside of the school, things like that. Um, do you enjoy,
Yeah.
is that just easy for you to incorporate into your filmmaking?
So I love finding locations for my films. Like I feel like the location is a huge part of the story.
Yeah,
Um, and with Filter, we had the most amazing, beautiful home that we used. And I think the location was a big part of the story. Um, I think in Minnesota, there are so many amazing locations that you can use. I just like with Turning Tables, that location was a cabin on the Apple River. It was just a perfect location. I feel like not necessarily before I write the script, but as I'm writing the script, I have the location in mind, like what it should look like, where it should be,
yeah,
and then I have to seek out that location. And I feel like, yeah, as far as exteriors, Minnesota has a lot to offer.
definitely.
Definitely.
I'm a writer, a lifelong writer, so I know what you mean. You're always picturing something, even
Mhm.
if you're writing about something that is not as exciting or as a film or something. But whatever you're writing, you're always thinking about if there is a locale that you can attach to it. Maybe somebody's writing about a restaurant or something. You're thinking about that restaurant. You're thinking about
Mhm.
walking through it, and it's definitely easier for a writer to see those things.
Yeah.
So, for those who haven't or aren't familiar with your film, can you tell us basics like the log line and that kind of thing? How long the
Yeah.
shoot was, etc.
Yeah. So, okay, logline. Um, Technology offers a lonely young boy an escape from his miserable home life, but while offering a means of escape, it might also unleash an unexpected consequence far worse than he ever imagined. So basically, be careful what you wish for.
Yeah, definitely. Um,
Yeah, so we filmed we filmed that actually it was over a 3-month period. It was from August 2023 to October. And in that 3-month period, we shot it 6 days.
wow.
So yeah, so it was like, okay, we'd shoot an entire weekend and then okay, the cast and crew can't get together again for a couple weeks, so then we'd have
Yeah.
to wait. I found that the most challenging is just being able to get the whole cast and crew together because, unlike working on a big budget production, you can't just take a few weeks or a month and just shoot every day throughout the week. It's kind of like, oh, what days work for you? And then just organizing all of that.
Yeah. That probably brings some excitement because when you get everybody and you're on set, you're like, you know the time is limited, so you're ready to go.
Oh yeah, yeah. And there were some really long days, some really long but productive days.
Yeah. Um, one of the things I was going to ask is that did you have any challenges with this film, whether you expected them or they were routine and you overcame them, or maybe they were unexpected? And what did you do to react to those?
Oh gosh, yeah. I mean, there's always challenges, especially when you're working within a particular budget that isn't huge.
Yeah.
You know, there's always challenges. Well, the main thing, like I mentioned, was the scheduling, just when you can get everybody together. For that film, when we shot in the summer months, it was very, very warm. And I know Chicago, where you're at, has similar weather
Yeah.
to Minnesota, but it was so hot and humid. And the home where we were filming didn't have air conditioning. Yep, no air conditioning. And so that was a bit challenging. I mean, we were just, just sweating a lot of the time. And poor Maddox, the young actor in the film,
Yeah.
he was such a trooper. Jesse wanted him to wear the sweater vest and the
Yeah.
long sleeve shirt and I know it was very, very warm for him. Unlike myself, who I was more scantily clad, so I didn't have like the heavy clothes on. But
Yeah.
so that was a bit of a challenge. But I think it almost added to it because the film is, there's so much going on, um, that almost the heat added to the performances, I think.
Yeah.
So we worked with it, but that was a bit of a challenge. Most things with the shoot went pretty smoothly. I mean, we had an amazing cast and crew, and everybody was so professional and worked so well together. So yeah, it was a
Now
lot
you
of fun.
you created that, like you came up with the idea for that story, right? Co
Um, so Jesse and I wrote the outline basically.
Mhm.
So it was interesting because Jesse travels a lot. And so during one of his travels, we were on the phone and we were going back and forth and we're like, okay, let's figure out this scene. And Jesse has like this incredible brain and he will just come up with all these things. And so we're taking notes and we're writing down, different scenes and characters and what's going on. And then we just talked back and forth and we got together with Alex, who co-directed with me, and then ended up writing the screenplay. So
Ah,
we had, the story idea and the outline together. And then Alex from there went and wrote the actual screenplay. He's a very good writer and he's written a lot of scripts. And so we just kind of left it with him and we're like, okay, do something with this, with all of this. And, there were a couple of different drafts, but then when we decided on the final draft, we were like, okay, we're ready to shoot.
yeah.
And we
And,
went ahead.
Jesse's Jesse Griffith, right?
Yeah, Jesse Griffith.
And Alex,
Susko.
you can pronounce. Yeah, there you go.
Mhm.
Um, what was it like in that film to be directing children? Because you had young actors in that, and that brings a whole nother set of, I don't know if it's challenges, but definitely a skill set for a director to be able to deal with children as working professionals.
Yes, yes, for sure. Okay, so the classroom scenes, that was the final shoot. And we had this great group of kids. They were all very professional and they worked really well. But of course, they're kids, right? So you're gonna You're gonna have a few things. A couple of funny stories. One of the children really wanted to go play at the playground, and he he was like, "When do I get to play at the playground? I want to go play." And he was like ready to go, and I'm like, "No, no, no. Not until we get this scene done. We have to finish the scene. You don't understand." And he just wanted to go out and play, but he got through it and he sat still, until we were done shooting. Um, Another little actress, oh my God, she was so adorable. But in some of the scenes, the kids are doodling on their notebooks
Yeah.
and, writing and doing pictures. And one of the little girls, somebody took her picture and threw it away or something, and she was so upset. Went into the bathroom and was having a meltdown, and we're ready to shoot.
Yeah.
And of course, she's the closest to the main actor, to Maddox, and so she wasn't wanting to come back onto set. And
Oh,
so I had to go into the into the bathroom and have a little talk with her. And I'm like, "You're a very big part of the scene, and if you don't come back, the whole scene is going to be ruined. You don't understand. We'll have to reshoot everything. We really, really need you." And some of the other students were in kind of talking to her,
yeah.
and getting her to come back. And so, anyway, she did come back to set, and it all worked out. But for a short period there, I was like, "Oh my God, what am I gonna do?" So yeah, I mean, there's definitely challenges. I've worked with children before. In fact, Maddox, I worked with on two other films before this one. He's an incredible little actor, and
Yeah.
he does theater and films, and he sings and dances, and he's so professional. Um, and so he was just a joy to work with. I mean, just a trooper.
It's writing questions down. When you have children on set for this, do you have somebody special that you have to bring in to oversee the fact that they have children? Or,
So so several of the children, their moms were there with them,
okay.
and a couple of them actually do work in film as well. And so they helped out on set, which was really nice.
Yeah,
So
that's great.
so so we had that support. Hmm.
Low-hanging fruit, they would say.
Yeah.
Um, and so if your shoot was August through October, right?
Hmm.
And the school scene was the last one, that happened during school year, right?
Right. I believe it was MEA
Okay.
weekend. I think it
Right.
was a Sunday that we shot on. So, um, yeah, it was St. Croix Preparatory Academy, and they were just so wonderful for allowing us to have the space. They had somebody there on set, just kind of, letting us in and out of the school and helping us out. Betsy, she was great. Um,
But
so
it's
yeah,
but
that's
it,
why we were able to film in October.
yeah, but it's cool that they actually, I think it was kind of cool that you did do it in October instead of them thinking like I can't wait to go to the water park today or jump in my pool or ride over to my friend's house because I saw a behind the scenes video on your
Mhm.
YouTube and one of the instructions before the scene was shot was, okay, you're all going to act like you're sad to be in school. And the first kid said, but I like school. I love it. So it was just kind
And
it
I
was
think
so,
I
so
said, "No,
cute.
you don't, not today."
Yeah. Just so much fun.
Mhm.
Um, and then how did you come up with I don't know, is this still doing any festivals or anything like that? Or
Yeah, it's still in the festival circuit.
okay.
Um, it has won several awards. It's doing quite well.
Yeah.
But I'm waiting to hear back from several yet.
Can
So
you
that's why I haven't released it yet.
okay.
So
Can you tell us some of your awards that you've won?
yeah, so I don't know if you've ever heard of Crypticon.
I've heard of that. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, so that's a big festival here in the Twin Cities and Kansas City and Denver. And anyways, so it screened there and it won best short film.
Wow.
So
Congratulations.
yeah, so that was thank you. So that was cool. And then in various other festivals. It played in Florida recently at a festival and won, I think, third place, third best short or something. And then it was recently in this online film festival in Italy, and it won. Gosh, we won Best Actor, Best Actress, Best Cinematography, well, quite a few awards
Yeah.
actually. So yeah, so it's doing well. We're just running it through the festival scene, and then after that, I'll release it. But it's kind of the thing with short films is, you do the festival circuit, which is great and everything, but then afterwards, what do you do with a 24-minute film, right? Like
Yeah.
that filter particularly, I see as a perfect I don't know, like Twilight Zone or Black Mirror episode.
Yeah.
I could see it in a series like that.
I
But
agree.
yeah.
You're you're I'm not going to go into specifics, but the evil part of the film, the I don't know, app related. Well, we say that, right?
Yep, yeah.
Because that's in the log line. Uh,
Create a new family, yeah.
yeah, yeah. So how did you come up with that and decide to expand on that, you and the co-writers?
Well, it's interesting because there's an app for everything, right? Everything. And we all have issues with family members. Hopefully not as many issues as poor little Asher had with his parents,
Yeah,
who were totally, neglectful, awful
yeah,
parents. But just the thought about what if you could create an app to change your entire life. And so we thought it was an interesting subject to kind of delve into.
yeah,
And and the whole point is, at the end, I mean, it's ambiguous, right? Like you don't know, is his life going to be better or is it going to be worse?
right.
Decide for yourself. So
Yeah, fun movie. Uh,
thank you. Thanks. A lot of people have seen it. We're like, oh my gosh, it's almost a half an hour long. You should have made it into a feature. Are you going to make it into a feature? And I would very much love to make it into a feature film. I financed it myself. Um, so it's pretty expensive when you finance things yourself.
yeah.
So if I, could get some funding for it, I would love to eventually make it into a feature.
So it was 100% financed by you?
Hmm.
Wow. Oh,
Yeah.
good for you.
Labor of love all the way around.
Yeah, exactly. For the love of the game, right?
Hmm.
Um, so when do you think there's a chance that you'll release that?
Um, I would have to look on Film Freeway. I don't remember the last date, where they'll, let me know if it's accepted or not.
Right.
But within the year,
Okay.
next year for sure, I'll
Okay.
release it. Maybe
Cool.
I'll come to Chicago and we'll do a screening or something.
Sounds good. We'll do a follow-up.
Yeah.
Okay. So are you wearing purple? Kind of looks like purple.
I'm
Yeah,
wearing purple.
purple.
Oh, I love the glasses. Oh my God.
Yeah,
I love it. Purple is one of my favorite colors.
I have normally boring black glasses, and I went to Philadelphia about a month ago, and it was me and my middle son. We were going for a video shoot, and we're super late for the early flight. So we're like running through, and I must have dropped my glasses. And so we're on the plane. I'm like, I can't read my phone or whatever. I'm like, so when we got there, somebody said, I have 5 or 6 of those on my desk. Go grab one, but they're all pink. And so the inside is
Inside is pink.
kind of pinky.
Yeah.
And I only saw it from that standpoint. And then I put them on. They said, nice purple glasses. And I was like, what? Yeah.
Oh, I love them.
Yeah. So a stupid little thing. And I wear them. And everywhere I go, people are like, wow, those are cool glasses. I'm like, gotta lose your glasses to get the good ones, I guess,
I want those. They'll go with my outfit.
Yeah.
I have some that they're purple as well,
Oh
but not
yeah.
as purple as yours. They're just sort of like tinted a little bit maybe, but not, yeah,
Well,
not
maybe
quite.
I'll send you a pair.
Oh, that'd be great.
Yeah, the woman who gave me these, she goes, "How do you like those glasses?" And I said, "I like them, but I'm scared because when they break, they're gone. And I'm back to regular boring ones." And I said, "I'll have
Right.
to look." And she goes, "I'll find where I got it, and then you can order a bunch." And I'm like, "Okay, good." So when I do that, I'll make sure you get one.
Okay, cool. I'm gonna hold you to that.
Instead of a Chicago pizza, I'll send you purple glasses.
Okay, send me both.
Yeah. Um, okay, turning tables. Let's talk
Mm.
about that. Um, that is fun as well. And these are fun in a I don't know.
Twisted kind of way.
Yeah, very twisted.
Yeah.
That's the genre. It's the opposite of what I expected at the end, which I think
Mhm.
is a really cool thing to do to any movie, whether it's a short or a feature. And so this woman who has car trouble is picked up by someone who looks creepy, right?
Mhm.
And acts creepy and
Oh yeah.
follows her in the woods. And then so many different things happen as a result.
Hmm.
And so, how did that come about from a storyline standpoint?
Okay, so I had a thought for the story, and I got together with Elliot Graber, who is also in Filter.
Yeah.
We actually shot Filter before we shot Turning Tables, and we worked so well together in Filter that I was like, you know, I'm like, I have this idea. Let's write this script together. And so we got together. It took just like a couple of days really to get the first draft. And as it went on, I changed the ending a little bit, tweaked a few things. I think it was like the fourth draft where we were ready to go. Um, but as we were writing this, I had an idea of a location. We only needed, this one location. Well, and then the beginning, which was just a road, so that was simple, but
Yeah.
and it had to be perfect. And then I was just looking at different places, nothing was right. And then this friend of mine, my cousin suggested, okay, this friend of ours has a cabin on the Apple River and it's just very remote and might work. And so I got in touch with her, in touch with Lisa, and she's like, well, come on out and see what you think of it. And I went out there and I'm like, oh my God, this is what I wrote. This is the location for the story. It was perfect.
It was. Yeah.
And so, yeah, they let us, we went up there for the weekend. We went like a day before and just kind of designed it the way we wanted it for the film, cleaned it up and everything, and stayed the whole cast and crew, which was very small, stayed there for the weekend together and
Yeah.
shot that film. And it was so much fun. It was so perfect. It went really smooth. The hardest part about that shoot was we had to drive a side by side to get up to the cabin, and we filmed it in March, and it was a beautiful weekend in March, but it was muddy and
Oh,
wet.
yeah.
And so like we had to park our cars like way, way down the road, and then to get up there, we would just walk. And so we used the side by side um, to load up all the equipment and drive it up there because our cars would have gotten stuck. And my car actually ended up getting stuck, and it was, I don't know if you I have a little behind the scenes thing
Yeah.
on YouTube that you can watch and you will see how we got my car out of the mud. It was like crazy. Um, but that location was absolutely perfect. So regardless of the mud, it worked out.
I'll have to check out the car part. I watched part of the
It's
behind
true.
the scenes thing,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
you've been in entertainment, filmmaking for a long time, acting, right?
I
So,
have, yeah.
yeah. So, I mean, I was like I'm bouncing around because I want to make sure I know more about you, not only this and all the behind the scenes, but the behind the scenes, I remember I started watching that and then I switched. I went to the, video I had a short film I hadn't seen. But
Hmm.
who's the actor? Who is the creeper again?
Oh, Elliot.
Yeah, so Elliot,
Elliot Graber, yeah.
yeah, and he's great
The
at that in
creeper.
the film. Oh man. And then the behind the scenes, he's like the nicest guy. He's like your buddy. I was like, oh, good. He's got a good side.
Yeah, yeah, he's a really sweet person. Very, very unlike his character. And I
Yeah,
hope that I'm very unlike most of the characters I play as well, because
I would hope.
I
Yeah,
play some evil, awful
yeah,
characters.
you
It's
do.
it's fun. It's my favorite characters to play.
How did you get into that? How'd you get into that genre? And I'm skipping out of order on my things, and I always do this. But some of the names of the early works that you've been in, and these are way early, so I'm just throwing these in: Camp Kill, Horror House, Crime Scene 2, Living Dead Girl, Go to Hell. So like, so like, as your career has gone on, like you embraced this and you ran toward it by making, writing, acting in films that had this certain, I don't know, this certain element to it.
It's really funny. One of those I think that you mentioned, like, was it Horror House or something? I wasn't even in that. Actually, I looked at my IMDb recently and I was like, why are people adding me on to that film when I didn't even work on it? It was weird.
It
But
happens
yes,
to everybody. Yeah,
I have done a lot of horror films. Horror is really big in Minnesota, I think in the Midwest in general.
yeah.
And so but I've always enjoyed horror films actually, so it makes sense that I would end up working in them. But my that actually the first film, and I don't know if you've watched this, but the first film that I made myself, like wrote, produced, directed, starred in, everything financed, was Masquerade. And that was
Mm.
made, I think that came out in 2010.
Yeah.
I think we filmed that very end of 2009 into the early 2010. But that's a drama. That one is not a horror. But it's a very dark film, dark drama. That was the first time that I was actually part of production in one of my films. And the reason is, I've been acting since I was probably 13 years old. So started out, doing theater, taking classes, um, eventually moved to Los Angeles and did quite a bit of acting there. Um, when I eventually moved back to Minnesota, I found that, there's a big difference between Minnesota and Los Angeles,
Yeah.
as far as work goes. If you're just going to be an actor, you're not going to do a whole lot. There's a lot of commercial work here. So I did some of that and did some acting here and there, but I was like, no, I'm gonna make my own films and I'm gonna create my own characters for myself and others. And so
Sorry. Yeah.
ever since 2009, when I wrote Masquerade, is when I started making my own films.
Yeah.
And I really enjoy being a part of the entire process now. It's hard for me if I'm hired just to be an actor. It's really hard for me to just say my lines and do what I'm supposed to do. I'm always like, "Oh, can I help you with this?" Or what can I
Yeah.
do? Or I want to offer my insight into other parts of the production, which sometimes people are okay with and other times not. So,
Yeah. When you make a short, what aside from artistically, those goals, that you want to make a great movie, you have a vision for it, you want to see that come out on screen, or you're just writing it, or you want to give a certain performance. But what are the goals, bottom line?
That's a good question, and I've been asking myself that a lot lately because I've made a lot of short films, and yeah, what is the goal? What do you do with them afterwards? I mean, you make them to create good work and you want people to enjoy them, but as far as financially getting anything back, I mean, that's not going to happen. I mean, that's the same actually with features too. I mean, you can put a bunch of money into a feature and never get anything back. Um, the festival circuit is great, but again, when that's over, what do you do with them? So,
Yeah.
um, yeah, I think the goal is to make, you know, like Filter, for instance. I would really love to make that into a feature. It's just a matter of financing, and I'm not great with that type of thing, like getting money and,
Yeah.
um, GoFundMe's and things like that. I don't really like to ask people for things or for help. Um, so yeah, I would say that's where I struggle. Yeah,
That's
if you have any ideas for me, let me know. I would love
no. The other people, I've had a lot of people that I interview that direct or act in shorts, many direct. Same thing. They all say can't make any money. That, it's
Yeah,
we try to do whatever we're doing to make the best possible product. Hopefully we win recognition at festivals because then when we make our next one, people that gave to this say, yes, I want to be attached to something else that's going to be great or at least very good, but no money. But
right.
one of the things I was thinking of while you were talking is that you have so much that you've created. It would be fun if you could do like a festival of yours or something like that sometime.
Mhm.
I think you could do it, you know what I mean, without interrupting the local festival in Minnesota, the one we were talking about earlier. I mean, you could have a specialty festival that is a certain genre. You could show, one of yours each night or two
Hmm.
each day or something like that. That might
Yeah.
be pretty cool.
Yeah. Yeah. People have actually talked to me about doing that. So
Yeah,
yeah, definitely in the back of my mind.
there you go. Okay.
Yeah.
Um, for the future, we'll follow up on that. Uh, so the turning tables, the unexpected thriller, that one of the things I wrote you was it always as unexpected as it turned out?
Um,
Like, was that always your initial thought? It's this is going to happen and it ends with that.
you know, basically, but some things I definitely did change at the end, to add more of a surprise to the story. And I guess I don't want to talk about them because then I'll ruin the ending if I do.
No, that's
But
generalities here. Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Okay. So basically that was it. Um, and so we talked about the Midwest and you
Mm.
know it, you embrace it, you use it, you know what people like, and you're good at shooting it. Like, are there other areas of the country that you would like to do something in sometime soon?
Oh yeah, well, it's always great to get out and shoot things in other places. Like, well, A Blind Bargain.
Yeah,
Um, I went out to Los Angeles last year and shot that.
yeah,
And that was really fun. My friend Paul Bennell directed that. It's a lost Lon Chaney film,
right.
and so the the producer John Filatico was a huge fan. And anyway, so the original film was lost in a fire. Um, and so, anyways, they did this reboot that takes place in the 70s. It stars Crispin Glover. And so, yeah, I went out there and I worked on that. I played Nurse Hagen. Um, And I also stayed and helped out on crew. I was a driver,
Yeah.
and so I was a part of the entire production. It was a lot of fun. We shot a good amount of it in Calabasas, which is just absolutely gorgeous. So
Yeah.
what a fun place to go, drive up to every day. And so it's always great, when you can get away and work on a nice a nice film like that, a nice paid gig.
Yeah,
So
definitely.
yeah. And actually, for that film, it was kind of nice to just step back and not on that one, I didn't feel like, oh, I should be like adding things or helping out with this or that because they had a huge crew, huge.
Right.
Like they didn't need me to do much.
Good.
So
Right.
yeah, so I love the opportunity to get out and I lived in Los Angeles for a long time and I love it. I love it there. So I try to get back whenever I can. I went back in January for the first screening. It was a cast crew screening,
Oh,
and
cool.
I was there during the time of the fires when
Oh,
the fires happened. Yeah. Managed to still go to the screening because it was in Beverly Hills and the fires weren't happening there, so it wasn't canceled. But yeah, any opportunity that I have to get out somewhere else, I'm all about it.
yeah. I hear
Mm.
you. I live in suburban Chicago, but I went to junior college near Anaheim in Fullerton, California.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And then after that, I went to San Diego State. I was just dumb enough to move back home.
Oh, San Diego. San Diego's so gorgeous. I
Yeah,
I think San Diego probably has the most beautiful weather of anywhere in the world.
it was great. It was great.
Mhm.
There was a recession when I got out of college in '91, and my wife, my future wife at that time, she came out to San Diego and we were going to live our lives out there. And we couldn't find a job like flipping burgers. We went everywhere. And after
Yeah.
I think a month and a half, she went home and I followed her and we're like, we'll go back in 6 months and then we got great jobs and blah, blah, blah. So,
Mhm.
yeah, so that didn't happen. Tell me, is there anything cool about doing this film that has a really like strong place in Hollywood, meaning you're doing something with ties to Lon Chaney?
Yeah, yeah. Well, I mean that's just pretty cool in itself.
Yeah,
I'm a huge fan of the classics. I love classic films. And the even though this particular version took place in the 70s, um, the wardrobe department was incredible. I mean, oh, the costumes and the sets, the art department was amazing.
yeah,
It's really, yeah, it's really incredible. So so it was really fun being a part of that. So I played Nurse Hagen. I was dressed up like that, and then I also played another character. I was the Swiss Miss Instant Cocoa Girl. So I had these braids and this funky dress on, and it was just so fun, just being a part of just seeing the wardrobe and um, all of the costumes and the hairstylists were amazing and makeup artists and um, it's always fun. I love period pieces, anyways.
yeah, definitely. And that original, I believe, it's 2025, and the original film, I think, was 1922. So, I mean, taking something that was 100 years ago, that's lost, right?
Hmm.
And being able to make a version that I mean, 1970 is like 100 years ago to some generation right now.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
yeah, so that's really cool. I think people will really embrace that. Did you personally have scenes with Crispin Glover?
Um, I was in I was in a scene where he basically comes in just as I'm leaving.
Okay.
So we didn't actually interact in that particular scene. There's another scene that I'm in um that he's in that we're in together, but we don't have dialogue together.
Yeah. Well, you still
Um
did things, right? He's still in it.
yeah, he's a interesting person.
Yeah. I think that's how everyone describes him. Yeah.
Yeah.
No offense.
Yeah. Mhm.
Um, one of the things I put down was, what is your approach? Like, do you have a long-term plan as far as I'm working on this film and I'm writing that next one and I'm coming up with ideas for three, four, and five? Or are you focused on right now, let's do festivals, let's get through this period before I even go past the next to the next one?
I guess I'm not quite that organized. It's kind of like whatever comes up, you know, I'll go for it
Yeah,
if I'm interested. I have to say I've been a little choosier now with scripts because I've done a lot of films, I've played a lot of roles, and if somebody comes to me with a script and the character just isn't anything I really care to play, or if it's not, I just probably won't put the time into doing it.
yeah,
Um, I really I'm always looking to do things that I haven't done yet, you
okay.
know. Um, and as far as like next films that I'm going to do myself, I have a script that somebody wrote for me that I would like to make. So that's still kind of in the back of my mind. uh, Sometimes things will just come up with me, like all of a sudden I'll wake up one day and go, oh, I have this great idea.
Yeah,
I'm going to do this right now today. I'm I'm kind of spontaneous that way.
yeah.
And other times I'll have something on the back burner for a while, and I just I don't know, if I'm not inspired to do it, I won't do it. Same with writing. Like, I can't just sit down and go, okay, I'm going to write a script or I'm going to write this. I have to be inspired to do it. Like, something has to happen,
Yeah.
either in my life or in my brain to just make me, you know, just make me get to it. I don't know. It's hard to explain. I'm all over the place.
I totally understand, actually. As a writer, I have, let me see, here's my inspiration. I keep it on my desk because I'm writing a couple shorts.
Ah, five
So,
pages a day.
yeah. So I read an article about years ago. I remember I ripped a blurb out of USA Today where somebody said, if you write 250 words every day for a year, you'll have a full book. Never once did I do that. I mean, that's still hanging somewhere in my basement.
Yeah.
And then I interviewed a few people from the film Superman, and one of them, well, when I was done with it, I was reading a lot of James Gunn stuff, the articles and the
Hmm.
follow up and stuff. And he had a podcast where he said, whatever I do, I try to write 5 pages a day. Like if I don't, I write 10 the next day, or sometimes I go to a barbecue and I screw up, but like I make that a goal. And if I can write 5 pages a day, I'm always going to come up with something. So that day I saw that, I put it on here, and now, I'm like, final draft, what am I doing? That kind of thing. So, yeah, so that's why I just was wondering what your approach was.
How's that worked for you? Have you been writing those 5 pages a day?
No,
No.
I'm doing a lot more 10 and zeros.
Okay.
It's not, it's, I'm a juggler. I'm the only parent to three kids who are in their 20s, and they all live here. And so,
Oh.
so, that's a juggle. And
Mm-hmm.
you'd think in
I'll
their
bet.
20s, they don't need you as much, but
Oh no, they
it's,
do.
yeah, it's just different. Two of them, they're videographers. So they shoot music bands and festivals, and they lived on Michigan Avenue right near Grant Park in Chicago.
Mm.
And turns out their apartment was a condo, and the women who owned it decided to sell this summer. So that means they had to rush out and find a bad apartment last minute, or I said, why don't you come home? I know you don't want to, but you can live your life like, you're professionals, you're adults, you're not in high school or middle school.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to be like on you for stuff. And I said, come home, don't pay rent, don't pay a bill, like take care of your stuff. And that's my gift to you. So,
Mhm.
though I do use them as editors when I can.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
My son Wade is a videographer and editor as well.
Oh, cool.
Very talented one, actually. And he lives in Colorado though.
Okay.
So, but I've gone out there. We made a short film together, and he's come back here and done some things with me. But I always say to him, "Gosh, if we live closer, we could work together all the time, you know." But
Yeah.
it's really great whenever we have the chance to work together. He's very talented.
Does he do some of the editing on any of your film, or has he edited some of your films, or is that
Um,
a process that you really enjoy? Because before you answer, like when I'm doing this, like I'll put it into a program that'll spit out, 30 videos or 40 videos of you giving 30 seconds to 45 seconds. But I love making the videos and putting overlays and stuff like that. I just enjoy it. I like the control over my own thing.
okay. Yeah, so I personally don't edit. That's one of the
Okay.
things that I don't do.
Yeah.
I'm very happy to just hand that off and let somebody else do that. He has edited some of my behind the scenes things. And we made a 48-hour film together one time. I went out to Colorado and we shot at this ranch. It was so fun. And he,
Yeah.
shot that, edited. He also acts as well.
Cool.
Yeah, he's a real good looking kid. And but yeah, I'm like one of these days we got to get together and just, do a project together if we're ever in the
Formally. Yeah.
same place like more than a week or two at a time. So,
Yeah. Now, I think you already answered this, but in a best case scenario, you would rather write, direct, and act all at once as opposed to just act, you said, right? Because it's a little hard to give up on some of that stuff.
well, it is, except like I said, when I worked on a blind bargain, it was actually really nice not to have the responsibility. So when I kind of got away from doing that, I was like, you know what? I have all these people like taking care of my makeup and my wardrobe and all of these things. It's really nice because when I make my own films, I'm a part of all of that, which I
Yeah.
enjoy. Like I love finding, the wardrobe to things, or like if I'm doing a period style piece, I love thrift shopping and finding things, and it's all good. But on the other hand, it's nice to just kind of sit back and let somebody else do all that for you. So I think I would like a mix of both.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. When I just muted this and coughed, you didn't hear me cough, did you?
I didn't hear, no, I didn't hear you
Oh,
cough.
okay,
But
good.
you
Well,
you can edit in editing, you can edit that out.
I know, but I just thought I'd ask.
Mhm.
Um, so let's talk about some of your other films. And I just wrote down a few of them so that
Mhm.
we could just talk, and then you can bring up any of them that you want.
Yeah.
But we've been going almost an hour already, and we've only talked about two films.
Oh no. Oh my gosh.
No,
The
it's
time is
okay.
flying. It doesn't feel like it's that long.
Yeah, I've never had a podcast go one podcast less than an hour. Every other one is hour 15, one was like 140. I was just like,
Oh wow.
I'm like, we have to stop. You have to go do something in life. Um, so My Little Sunflower. I
Mm.
really enjoyed that. I
Did
watched the
you?
extended version and it, it yeah, it was just interesting. I was wondering if you could just talk about that from whatever aspect you'd like to.
Yeah, so that is a very dark, disturbing film. Playing that character left me feeling a bit exhausted,
Mhm.
actually. So Alex, who co-directed Filter with me, that was his baby. I helped produce it, but he wrote it, directed it, he shot it and everything. Um, and that he for that role, he wanted me to watch the movie The Piano Teacher with Isabelle Huppert. I don't know if you've seen it, but he wanted the character to be similar to her.
Okay.
And so if you haven't watched that film, when you do, talk about dark and disturbing.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so yeah, I mean again, that's Alex's baby. I just kind of did what he wanted and
How do
helped out with the
you,
production. But
sorry to interrupt. You talk about you leave exhausted, right?
mhm.
From the role.
Yeah.
How do you start? How do you get into the mindset of something like that?
Um, well, I tried to picture this woman, what you just try to get into the character's mind and try to feel the things that she went through. I mean, you know, she was brutally raped, um, had a child out of rape. I mean, I can't imagine what that would be like, but I just tried to put myself in her mindset. Um, then to leave her child in a field, 10 years later, somebody who's watching the film is going to be like, what kind of person would do that? But you would hope that they would have empathy and understand. I mean, you look at my character. I mean, her eyes are. I think the makeup artist did a good job.
Yeah.
My eyes were like, swollen and red and bags down to here, and looked like she had led, just a very unhappy life. And so, you know, the interesting part of that film is when her daughter finds her, that interaction that they have, it's like her daughter doesn't have any empathy at all for her, for what she went through. And you see my character being, you know, very, very cold, but yet you can see in her face that she has had a lot of pain in her life and that she just maybe needed somebody to um reach out to her and give her some kind of love and care, and she never had that. So it's kind of a struggle in just having the character be um unlikable, but likable enough to where you could have some sort of empathy for her. And that's what I really tried to bring across in the role, and it was just exhausting. I don't
Yeah.
know. It's hard saying some of the dialogue that she said was exhausting, just saying that and trying to feel it, because it was very cold.
Definitely. Yeah, and that situation, first of all, you nailed it. So we just want to say,
Oh, thank you.
but yeah, I mean that character when she's younger and she realizes she's pregnant, she does anything she can to self-abort, and that results in something. And then later, when you're giving that speech, and yeah, that makeup artist was tremendous because keep in mind, I've been watching your stuff back to back to back, and all of a sudden, you're like, I'm like, holy cow, look at those bags. Like you,
I looked awful.
yeah, but you're not like that in anything else. So that was like tremendous that she, I mean, I probably more than anybody noticed that, unless it's like the people on set, because I had been watching you in other things all day. And then I saw that and I'm like, holy cow.
You're like, wow, she looks like shit.
Supposed to, right?
Yeah.
But I thought the cool thing was your character there, despite everything that happened, she did it because she was doing what she thought was best for the daughter so she could have a better life.
Right.
And I thought that was pretty interesting.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah. So we talked about A Blind Bargain. Um, will you pick one? What's a film you'd like to talk about that we haven't yet?
Um,
One of yours, direct.
let's see. Oh, did you have a chance to watch Masquerade?
Uh, Not all of it. No.
Okay.
I honestly, I ran out of time with my some of the meetings and calls I had
Oh,
today.
oh, I know. I
Yeah.
mean, we set this up kind of quick, so I mean, there was a lot. But I okay. Well, maybe we can just talk privately about that. But I'm
Yeah.
curious to hear about what you think of the ending, and and if you thought it was symbolic or and who you know. Well, anyways, yeah, we'll talk about that another time since you hadn't seen it. But
I'll watch
that
it
film.
tonight and email you.
Oh, you
Okay.
don't have to watch it tonight.
Oh, it's
Just
9 o'clock. I didn't realize. Yeah.
whenever. But let's see. What should we did you watch Dolwa? I know
Yeah.
that's a feature film.
Yeah. What
You
was that
watched
like for
the
you?
whole
Yeah,
thing?
watch. Yeah.
Okay. I loved that character, Kathy. Like
Mhm.
unlike some of my other awful mother characters, I mean, she was
Yeah.
genuinely trying to do the absolute best that she could with her situation, being a single mom, working two jobs, and then, suffering such an awful tragedy. Um, I really, she's probably one of my favorite characters. Um,
Is that out for people to watch right now?
yeah.
Okay,
Hmm.
good. That's what I thought. Because it's
Yeah.
how old is that?
So actually we started shooting that in 2019 and then COVID hit. And so because we weren't done filming it yet.
Yeah.
And then we had to like put it off for like 6 months and then get back to it.
Yeah.
So, but it went through the festival circuit and it's public now on YouTube. You can watch it. So,
Good. Okay.
but yeah, I think it's such a beautiful story, and I really enjoyed all the female characters. Um, and it reminded me a little bit of one of my favorite films, Magnolia.
Oh, yeah.
Just how these women's lives kind of how they came across each other in different instances, and how it all came together. Um, but yeah, so that was the first film that I actually did with Alex. So we've worked together on several projects, but that was the first one. And yeah, what are your thoughts on that?
Well, first of all, let me ask you, what were your roles on that film? Acting
Um,
and what else?
so I was just cast as an actress on that. And as the shoot went along, I ended up co-producing. So I ended up taking on a much greater role.
Oh, and so is it when you're, oh, sorry. That's a text from you, by the way. That's coming. I didn't realize I turned off airplane mode. Um,
Oh,
you, um, God, my airplane mode is on and it's still not working. Sorry about that.
that's okay.
Um, when you're working with him, are you automatically producing?
Um, it's I guess it seems that way when you look at the credits, yeah. He's kind of a one-man show when he does things, and I just always feel like, oh well, I can contribute by, you know, let me do this and help with that, and so just sort of ends up that way. But
Okay.
but it worked out really well. Yeah, soft spot in my heart for that movie.
Yeah. Let me ask you this. Your performance in that, how do you prepare for a feature versus a short?
Um,
Is
Well,
it the same?
you're definitely at it longer.
Right.
So you're with the character longer, and I feel like as the film develops, um, like so when I watch Dolwa, and of course it's all shot out of order,
Right.
but I watched the scenes that were shot a little bit later in the production, and I find that I felt like I had a better understanding of my character because I was with her more, you know?
Yeah. I think
So,
is that probably just natural for all actors who are shooting something longer?
you know, it could be. It could be. I think it depends on how much you prepare too. Like for some actors in some roles, you might have a lot of rehearsals before you actually shoot.
Yeah.
With Dalwa, we didn't have any rehearsals. It was just like we just went right into it. And it's that way with a lot of shorts, usually you don't have much rehearsal time. You just kind of jump into it.
Yeah. Especially if you're
Um,
doing every a weekend a month or something like that. So the weekend comes, it's like, let's get going, right?
yeah.
Yeah. Let me talk to you about some of the themes that you've addressed. So like we're talking about thriller, horror, creepy type films in a way. Like you run the gamut and you're great at all of it. But
hmm
but like it seems like whether you're writing it, directing, or acting it, you're addressing so many different types of topics. It's not like slasher one, slasher two, slasher three. Um, just in some of the films that I watched, violence, sexual assault, assumed torture, at least that's how I write it, murder, alcoholism, child abandonment, adultery, and then the almost a lack of love for a child. It was part of it too. So, do you see yourself when you're creating a film, even just coming up with an outline? Maybe you're not even the writer fully, but do you try to tackle different topics and I know you said you like do different things, but do you try to just go in different directions story-wise too?
I do. And after just listening to you right now, I've realized that I really need to make a comedy.
That's awesome.
Wow.
Best
You know,
answer.
you don't realize it until somebody like throws all those descriptive words at you. Like, these are the types of films you make. It's like, oh my God, I really need to give myself a break. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. Yeah, I like to tackle difficult subjects. You know, I would actually I love dark comedy. I love dark comedy. Like one of my favorite dark comedies is After Hours,
oh yeah,
by Martin Scorsese. He's one of my favorite directors too. But it's just it's brilliant. It's a comedy, but it's just so dark.
yeah,
And I would love to make something like that. I've actually only made two short film comedies. One was a dark comedy. One was just slapstick.
yeah.
If you watch The Interview,
Okay,
it's pretty short, but it's just fun. It's full on comedy. That is the only real comedy I've ever done.
okay.
So maybe I need to do that, and especially like right now in the times we're living in, like things can be pretty dark. Maybe I need to add a little light and make a comedy. Maybe that's my next thing.
A
Or a
little,
musical.
a little laugh won't hurt once in a while, right? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Never done a musical and I do sing, so that's another thing on my agenda that I
Oh,
need I
nice.
need to do at some point.
Do you play
Mhm.
instruments?
I don't know.
Okay. But you could act like you did.
Yes, I could act. I could pretend. Yeah.
So how long have you lived back in Minnesota? Like, when did you move back there from LA?
So I was out in LA all through the 90s.
Okay.
So I've been back for the 2000s.
Okay.
And I've I've gone back and forth, you know, from there. But yeah, I moved out there when I was just a kid, so
Now, so
yeah.
In Minnesota, you have really a place where you have probably a great amount of talent that you can bring to a film set from both a cast and a crew perspective, right?
Oh yeah. Yeah. There's a lot of really, really talented folks here. And a lot of people have left, you know. They did what I did. They go out to LA or they go to Atlanta or different places, and a lot of them come back or try.
Yeah.
Even when I was in LA working on a blind bargain, some of the crew had told me, like one of the ADs had lived in Atlanta, well, had lived in LA and then moved out to Atlanta like during the whole boom there when a lot of films and things were being made there.
Right,
And then not a lot was happening there, so he went back to LA to work on that film. So it's like you just kind of go wherever the work is.
right.
You know, Canada is huge. I mean, Toronto or Vancouver, lots of things are filmed there. Um, so yeah, I don't know. You just gotta kind of move around and go where the work is. But there's a lot of very talented folks here,
That's
and
good.
I'm sure in Illinois as well.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you go a little over an hour from Chicago and it looks like any place USA, I guess. But,
Hmm.
having, Lake Michigan and an iconic city, it makes it pretty incredible for a lot of people to want to do shoots, even short films, student films, you name it. Like I was in a,
Chicago PD is one of my favorite shows.
oh yeah.
I was always like, I need to get on that show. I love that. I love that show.
Yeah, there's so much going on here.
Hmm.
I joined a Facebook group because I was looking for something for one of my kids. I don't remember what I was looking for, but um, now, unfortunately, like now Facebook thinks it's the only thing I want to see. So every day I keep getting, hey, my editor is in the hospital. Can anybody colorize a 1.5 minute segment so I can submit to a festival because the rest was done. Uh,
Yeah.
but there's always stuff going on. People, it's interesting to read, if nothing else, knowing that,
Yeah.
no matter what people say, like there's always stuff going on down there. Not like I've been down there and I was at my son's dorm, my youngest, when he was going to Columbia in the spring. And he was only there for 2 weeks, and then he had a medical issue and had to back out. But
Mhm.
there was this big scene, cops and everything, and they sent me a picture when I went, and they're like, "Look, there's something going on next door." And I looked at, it, and there were like so many cops and so many like fire personnel. I go, "That's a shoot." There's like, there's no way you have like 5 engines and, six police cars in one intersection, all perfectly around, whatever happened.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's fun. It's a fun area. Okay, let's see what else. Do you have any other films you want to talk about now? Like anything top of mind?
Hmm. See.
Or you could think of that and I'll throw you something else.
What did you think of The Guest? Did you watch The Guest? It's a black and white silent film.
Oh, I did. I don't think I watched it all. I think I watched
Oh,
it right before that call that I had
okay.
tonight. Yeah, and I got
Okay. Well, you can watch
yeah,
that along with Masquerade. But
yeah.
anyways, I just finished filming a prequel to that. So
Oh,
it's going to be a trilogy.
Oh,
So
cool.
it'll be these films are based on a poem and they're shot in different eras. So the one I just filmed, which is a prequel to The Guest, it's called The Visitor,
Mhm.
and it's takes place in the 1920s, 30s. And so that was a lot of fun. And they're in black and white. And then they have the placards at the bottom, like the old silent films
Yeah,
with the words, because there's no dialogue and there's just music. And
right.
so that's kind of fun.
Was one of those, whether I saw right before that call, and I was watching, I don't know if I was watching like a trailer or something. Like it looked like a woman was wearing a wedding gown or,
Yeah, that was it. Yep.
okay, gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, you probably saw the trailer. Yeah.
Yeah, I must have. I think that's probably why, like, I kept going from thing to thing. And I tried to
Yeah.
watch like Cornerstone, in your supposed cornerstone items in your IMDb and the films that you directed, I
Mhm.
mean, because I know you played a bigger role, and so I just there's only so much time, you know what I mean?
Definitely,
Yeah.
definitely. But yeah, so that's the latest thing that I made.
Okay.
And those are kind of fun because I love old silent films, so it was fun to make those.
Yeah, it was you got interviewed. Who I don't even know what it was about. I watched the interview. Remember, I do this with everyone. I want to make sure. I don't think I even introduced you or anything, but for names, I just like to hear an actor or an actress or director on an interview say their name for the most
Mhm.
part because I've seen a lot of people guess it, which is not the way to go.
And just slaughter a person's name. Yeah.
Yeah, and then, so I was thought I had it right, which I did by texting you. But it was funny because these two podcasters interviewed you, and they did a great interview. But when you were talking about, let me see, when you're talking about a blind bargain, they you referenced Crispin Glover, and they said, "Oh, he's from God, what was it? Anything but Back to the Future." They referenced a different film, and so I just like could tell the age difference between them and me, and I'm like, "Well, you mean Back to the Future?" And then they said it after that, and then
Yeah, he has Crispin has an interesting following.
yeah, he does. But I guess the big thing is just have a following, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. When I was in LA in junior college, I got his phone number for like I just did all kinds of goofy things. I was 18. And I remember I think I got his phone number because it was publicly listed. And
Oh,
I remember I called him and he answered.
really?
Then I hung up and I never called him again. Like I had nothing to deliver. Like even saying hi would have been like, "Who are you?" You know what I mean? But I remember my phone book, my actual little phone book. It was a little black book, had Crispin Glover in it.
Oh my gosh, that's so funny.
So
That's
goofy.
so funny.
Is there any?
He's kind of shy. He's yeah.
He seems like he would be. I mean, just from the interviews, everybody seems. You are who you are. That doesn't mean anything about it is wrong. So, is there anything you're watching right now or have watched recently that you, number one, admire from a filmmaking aesthetic approach, like the way it was made? And is there anything else, or it could be the same thing, that you admire from an acting standpoint?
Um, so I have to say, like anything that Guillermo del Toro makes is just absolutely beautiful and amazing. I haven't seen Frankenstein yet, but That
mean,
is definitely the next film I have to see. I just think he's an amazing filmmaker. I love everything that he does. Um, you know, just visually, story-wise, the monsters in all of his films are incredible. Um, as far as I mean, there's so many amazing directors, really. I think I mentioned Scorsese is one of my favorites too, which totally different style, you know.
yeah,
Um, as far as acting goes, I would have to say two of my favorites are Jessica Lange, who's also from Minnesota,
yeah,
and Kate Winslet, are two of my favorite actresses. I watch all of their work and I am just blown away because it what I find really my favorite actors are the ones who don't just deliver dialogue well, but who say so much without saying anything, like
right,
um, their facial expressions and their body movements, maybe just even the way they hold something with their hand or the way you know, the way their eyes look or just emotions on their face. And so that's what I really look for in some of my favorite actors. I mean, there's so many incredible actors, but those
right.
two definitely stand out.
Yeah, both those actresses, I mean, you watch not so much always for the topic, but for them, just like you described. They
Hmm.
really take you to a place because it's them taking you, not because of the storyline. Like, Revolutionary Road. Is that the right title?
Oh my
Yeah.
God, it's one of my favorite films.
Yeah. So
It's one of my
that just
favorite. It's one of my favorite books as well. I don't know if you've read the book, but
no.
the film adaptation is just it's perfect.
Yeah.
It's very close to the book, which is rarely done. Um, Same thing with The Postman Always Rings Twice, the remake with Jessica Lange and Jack Nicholson. If you read the
Yeah.
book, so the original film is very good, don't get me wrong, but back then they weren't able to show a lot because of, you know, censor censorship and everything.
Yeah.
And so the sequel with Jessica Lange is actually much closer to the book and it's just brilliant. Jack Nicholson, another incredible actor. Oh, another person who had the most amazing facial expressions and body movements was Marlon Brando.
Ooh.
I mean, my God, all he had to do was just show up on screen. He didn't have to say a word, didn't have to do anything, especially in his younger years. Oh, I mean, you just can't take your eyes off of him.
Yeah, he was amazing. It's one of my I was just thinking of films that are semi-related to like these women and performances where just a woman just drives the film or several. And one of them, I can't believe it's this old, if it is. It can't be that old. I can't be thinking of it. But the God, what is it with Nicole Kidman? Um, oh geez, Nicole Kidman. Is it it's not the others, is it?
Oh, the others? Yeah.
Who's in that?
Where she's a ghost?
Yeah, yeah.
That's an incredible film. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So,
She's another one. I really enjoy all of her performances. She's very good. Yeah.
yeah. So, for you, I'm just jumping around. Let's see. We've been on hour 24. So we'll try to go 10 minutes and then we'll cut off. Okay.
Okay.
Um, what are your immediate goals right now? Like things you're working on and your plans like next year or so, or even 6 months.
Um, so I'm not a big planner. I'm a very spontaneous person and like I was saying, whether it's a script, um if I'm inspired and something comes to mind and I have to write it right away, um, it's just it will just happen in the moment. So
Mhm.
I don't plan a lot of things. I've talked to different people. I talked to somebody out in LA who's doing a web series that wanted to collaborate with me, but like um, he's dealing with like funding and this and that. And so there's different things that could be happening, but it's just all a matter of so many different things that I don't count on them. I'm not like, okay, this is what I'm going to do next year because you just don't know what's going to happen because things fall through all the time.
Sure.
Um, and, and so, but as far as just myself, I mean, I don't have anything planned as of right now, but that could change as of like tomorrow or the next day.
Yeah.
You know,
Okay. That's
just
cool. No
nothing.
plans means lots of opportunity,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah,
Um,
my mind is always scrambling. I have so many stories and so many things in my head. It's just a matter of putting things together. I
sure.
think I had mentioned that I have this one script that somebody actually wrote specifically for me, that I would really like to make. And so it's just a matter of putting it all together and getting the right team together and things.
Makes
So
sense.
nothing absolutely specific that I can tell you at the moment, but that could change. Like I said, next week I could give you a call and go, hey, guess what?
Yeah. Do you watch dramas?
I love dramas, yes.
TV too?
Um, yeah, I
More
don't
fun.
I don't watch a ton of TV. I'm more of a movie girl, but there's a lot of really good shows streaming now, I have to say.
Yeah. I I always have something on in the background when I'm sitting here writing, working. And usually it's something I've seen 100 times because then I won't look up and I'll just do my stuff. So like Office or Parks and Rec or whatever.
Mhm.
Or you go to Google and you say, you know, background music for studying or something. There's like those 10-hour reels where shows like Canyon and just relaxing music and you're in your element. And I put this Netflix show on with Kerry Russell, The Diplomat, recently. Oh my God, I was like suckered in. Is it like it,
I haven't seen that, but I like her. I like her a lot.
she's amazing. I mean, I've
Mhm.
seen her in a lot of things, and it to me was her best.
Waitress is one of my favorite films. I love that movie.
Yeah, yeah. So the the horrible part was last night I'm at like season 3, episode 7. And so I stopped it for a minute. I'm here alone and I'm like, I just need to figure out like, do I have like 12 episodes left? Do I have 13? I just want to get the mindset because I'm trying to
Hmm.
enjoy this. And I was like, maybe I should not watch it less and like give myself more time to enjoy it. And I'm like, no, that's stupid. If you love it, you love it. So I go to hit play and it's paused and it says at the top, Netflix, The Diplomat, 3 seasons. So I'm like, I had an hour left and then I was done forever until they make more, which killed me because
Yeah,
the writing is incredible. Like it's she's the London ambassador for the United States and not necessarily meant for that or skilled for that. And it's awesome. I mean, if you just watch it, it's awesome. It might not be
I'll
your
have to check. I'll have to check it out. No, it sounds good.
no
Yeah.
pun
So,
intended, it might not be your cup of tea, but
so when you're saying when you write, you like to have background noise, like whether it's music or a film or something playing when you write? Is
yeah, I know some people need super quiet,
That's
like that
me.
kind of thing.
That's me. Like when I'm writing, I can't have anybody around me talking to me. I can't have music or anything playing. I have to solely focus on what I'm writing or I get distracted. So it's
Yeah.
interesting because I know other people like that as well. Like when they're writing, they have to have noise and things going on. It helps them.
Yeah,
concentrate. That's interesting.
I can do both, but I maybe I'm lucky that I can do the background. Like,
Mm.
I think it's because I was a newspaper reporter when newspapers were still good, like early 90s.
Hmm.
And so if you worked back then in the days of newspaper in their heyday, like for decades, like even all throughout the 90s, I'm sitting at this desk that's attached to another guy and his phone's going off like 10
Right.
times, in 3 hours, and he's doing obits and I'm writing crime and there's like people all over, and you know I didn't smoke, but this guy's like, hey, let's go down so I can have a cigarette and let's talk about the election or whatever. Like, it's madness, but it's controlled madness. So I kind of got used to that.
Sure, I could see
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
Yeah. So when I would write, sometimes I remember I told my kids I used to play like music that I didn't want to sing along to. So it wasn't like REO Speedwagon or like something I grew up really loving. It's something that's just there. And so I would play, and no offense to Josh Groban, but I would play stuff like Josh Groban because it was like relaxing background, or Enya or something like that.
Yeah. Hmm.
And my kids got old enough, they're like, how's Josh Groban today? And so I could never play him again. So yeah, but so that's what I do. So if I have The Office on or Parks and Rec or anything like that that I've seen the entire series over and over, and you see it on when you walk in the room, it just doesn't affect me. It's like, just white noise.
Sure.
So how do you find this leads us to a similar thing. How do
Mhm.
you find that quiet time and have it long enough that you can get what you want to have done every day?
Um, well, I actually I have quite a bit of quiet time. I don't have any kids at home and stuff, so I have a lot of quiet time actually. Yeah.
Okay,
It's more the what to do with the quiet time.
sure,
Like if things just aren't flowing, it doesn't matter how quiet it is, like nothing's and sometimes I'll get ideas from watching movies or reading books or whatever, like something will just pop
yeah,
in my head and I'll be like, oh wait, there we go. You know what I mean? So sometimes background noise can help me come up with ideas, but once I have the idea and I start writing, then it has to be quiet.
sure.
So I wish I could be more like you though. I would like to have, to be able to concentrate and do that. But
Yeah, I mean, I don't
we
think I
all
could
we
do
all have
this.
our own, ways of doing things, right?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I don't think like I could do it by choice. I mean, I just had to live through an environment to get used to it, I think, being
Yeah.
at newspapers. Um, and funny enough, when in the late 90s, when I left newspapers, I some of my last stories were, what is the at symbol, or what does www mean? Like it was explaining to people what the internet is. Yeah. Right before newspapers got killed.
Hmm.
Um, okay, let's see here. Um, we talked about just about everything. Oh, from an acting standpoint, a lot of people have an approach. When you took acting classes, went through theater, do you have any specific approach that you take, or have you been doing it so long that that I'm gonna do this as my prep, and you're so used to being able to take a written character and making it come to life?
Yeah. So I guess, back in the day, many years ago, um, taking acting classes, doing theater and all of that, you're taught how to do things a certain way. And I mean, that's fine. Like you can take from that what you want and use it, right? Because different people, things work differently for different people. So maybe that works for this actor, but it doesn't work for me. So you just put your own ideas into it. Um, I guess for so long now, the way I tackle a character um, is just different with each role, with each character. You know what
Yeah,
I mean? Like like I was saying for My Little Sunflower, I was told to watch this film and watch some of her work and take it on the way she would, as she did in that character. Um, so it kind of depends on maybe what the director wants, like if that person wrote the character, like what they're looking for. Um, a lot of it is like for instance in Dolwa when my character Kathy when she loses her son,
yeah,
to me having a son, um I can't imagine anything being more horrible, more devastating than that, to lose a child.
sure.
I can't imagine. And since I haven't actually been through that myself, um you just have to really imagine and almost like pretend like that had happened to you, by maybe because I have lost a lot of people, who were very close to me, family members, friends who've passed away. And so you use the grief that you felt having lost other people, and you just change it into your character losing her child. And so what I do, like in scenes where I had to cry, I would just think about horrible things that happened to me, people that I lost, and what that felt like. And you get in that headspace and you just really remember that. And that's what works for me, like in dramatic scenes like that. Like it's really easy for me to cry. If you know, like there were instances where, okay, in this scene, you need to, like there was a scene, you need to kind of slide down the wall and then just start crying, right?
Yeah,
So what I'll do is I'll give myself a few moments to just think of things that were really sad and remember how it affected me. And then I just go in up against the wall and I think about that and I just do it.
yeah,
And that's why sometimes acting is so exhausting, because you become the character and you draw from experiences in your own life that were painful in order to bring that through the character that you're playing. So it's almost like reliving these horrible things again. And so that's why sometimes, these films are just exhausting by the time you're done. Or at least that's how I go about doing them. I mean, not everybody does. I think every actor has their own style and their own way of connecting and portraying the character.
oh, cool. Well, let's see where we're at. We're hour 40 minutes. So I think we're
Oh my God, people are going to be watching this going, are they ever going to stop talking?
I think they're saying that about me. Um, hey, well, um, thank you very much for being here. I really appreciate it.
Oh, thank you for having me. This
Yeah,
is great. I
I,
enjoyed talking with you.
I will owe you purple glasses,
Yes,
but
I'll hold you to that.
if you guys come to Chicago, then the pizza will be on me when you come. That's more fun than just
Yes.
send you a pizza. Um, and if you ever need a guy who looks like me, who is a brother or wood chopper or whatever, I'll drive to Minnesota and sleep on the floor to be actor number 13 in whatever film, and you need a free actor.
Oh my God. Okay. All right. I'm going to hold you to that. It's recorded, so I can play
Gladly.
it back.
Okay. Hey, well, thank you so much. I'll stay in touch with you. I
Okay.
appreciate it.
Thank you. Thanks so
Okay.
much.
Take care.
Okay,
Bye.
bye-bye.